let's watch some crazy stuff, yo.
Homies, I'm gonna do something I've wanted to do for a long time. Something I should have done a long time ago.
No!
The squeaky bolt on this door was driving me crazy.
Hey, wait a minute, Rick. I thought this was a commercial. What's going on? I mean,
Relax, Morty. Don't worry about it. Let's just see where this goes.
You know that the Odd Ones Out's name is Robert, right?
No, I didn't know that.
James is his middle name. His first name's Robert. What the heck, James? You're too cool for the name Robert? Same with, there's another YouTuber I know, J Cub Scouts. Jay goes by Jay, but his name's Robert. What is it with all these people who can't just honor the name? You know what I'm saying? And of course I'm being a hypocrite because I've moved on to Bo.
Yeah, so I better just shut up.
We are going to watch the essential Odd Ones Out viewing. We're gonna do what we did for the Haminations video, and we are gonna watch the first videos by the Odd Ones Out that I ever saw, and we're gonna show them to my wonderful GF Lola. Annoying customers! You haven't seen these videos, right?
No.
No, so this will be fresh. This was my first impression on the Odd Ones Out, the channel that personally changed my life and the course of my channel, and we're gonna do it again like it's the first time.
Yay!
So homies, if you enjoy this video and if you like when I do videos with Lola, what should they do, Lola?
Hit the like button and subscribe and comment down below.
And I've said this so many times, but like when people tell me they watch my videos with their family, nothing else makes me happier in the entire world. I'm not kidding. I could get $1 million tomorrow and it wouldn't make me as happy as when someone tells me that like, oh, your channel's like the one thing that me and my dad like to watch together. Oh. Right in the fields, homies. Okay, annoying customers, this is how I started. His most viewed animated story ever. Let's go.
So I used to work at Subway, and to be honest, about 80% of the customers were fine. Sometimes they would do something that would just personally annoy me, like ask for a meatball on flatbread. So don't feel too bad for me. Like sometimes people would ask me, can I have a turkey with lettuce, tomatoes? Whoa, slow down. What kind of bread? Footlong or 6-inch? What kind of cheese? Is it toasted? Then we'll talk about vegetables. And every time someone brought in a list, there would always be something missing on it. Always. I never had someone come in with a complete list. I would ask someone, what kind of cheese? And they would say,
they didn't
specify. Well then, if they didn't care enough to remember cheese, I guess they'll get Swiss.
Then I hate them.
If anyone watching is currently working at a Subway, then feel free to use these tricks. If someone asked me,
what kind of cheese do you recommend?
Jaiden.
I would always say provolone, because it's the easiest cheese to pull apart with gloves on. Really?
I know.
That's smart.
So I remember taking issue with this.
Why?
Well, cause it's like, this video is like he treats the audience like, hey, if you work at Subway, this is how you survive it. You know, it's like, he's teaching you how to be a Subway employee and deal with all of the nonsense that goes down. Or sorry, sooubway. Even though he said sooubway at the start and then immediately went and said Subway. So he's not protecting himself from any sooubway legal action. But definitely more soobs have been sold because of the Odd Ones Out than they would. I don't think anyone has avoided this restaurant because of these videos.
Well, I think it's good that he said all of these tips because working in food service is tough.
Really, if anyone asked me what I recommended, I would just tell them the easiest thing for me to do. But even after I gave my insightful provolone cheese recommendation, sometimes people would still say,
I'll take American.
why do you even ask me what cheese I would recommend if you're not gonna take it seriously? Another thing that would annoy me is when people would say the sandwich was all done, but they didn't put any sauce on it. So I would ask, any sauce? And then they would be like, oh yeah, mayonnaise. Oh, why did you tell me it was all done if it wasn't? Also, the receipt machine at the store took like 7 seconds to print out the receipt. So it would be very awkward every time I would ask people, do you want your receipt? And then they would say yes, and then we would just stare at each other until the receipt printed. So what I did every time someone swiped their credit card, I would just stare off into space.
So how's your day? How's your day going? Do you like Minecraft?
Yes, I like Minecraft.
I'm saying that's what you would ask the customer. If you had something that you had to ask a customer to pass 7 seconds, what would you say?
Do you want a refill on your drink?
They haven't got. They're just getting their drink.
But if I was just seeing a customer, I would have been like,
they're just paying for their drink. They don't need a refill. They haven't drank it yet. I would show them a Vine, because Vines are 7
Vine?
seconds.
No.
Vines are 7 seconds long.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
the receipt printed.
Or I would have just been like, I would have reached down under the counter and just like squatted for a second to pretend like I'm grabbing something and look busy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that works too. Yeah. I would stare them dead in the eye.
Head, I would count to 5. And then I would ask, do you want your receipt? And by the time they said yes, it was like magic. As soon as they said yes, the receipt printed. At Subway, you only work with one other person. So if someone got annoyed and said, let me talk to your manager, I would just look at them and go,
hey!
Listen, I've been here the longest. The only other person in this store is a 16-year-old girl, and she technically isn't old enough to use a toaster, so I'm probably your best bet. I'm the manager. Like, do people think the manager will automatically take their side?
I am John Subway. I want to speak to your man. Who goes into a Subway ready for that kind of conflict? What has to happen in order for you to want to speak to the manager of Subway? If you're not happy, cut your losses and move on, you know? I want to talk to John Subway this instant, you know? John Subway, he's sitting on his bed of Italian 12 inches, and he's like, oh, yeah, she got the wrong cheese. Yeah, I'll get on that right away. Foot rub.
Like, do people think the manager will automatically take their side and give them free stuff? Yes, actually, they do think that because it happens all the time. I would consider myself a pretty laid-back Subway employee. I didn't like to be stingy with people, even though I was disobeying the Subway formula on purpose. Oh, you want more than 6 olives on your footlong?
20.
Sure. Here, have a 5th slice of cheese. $1.50 for avocado. Pfft. I'll charge you 75 cents, buddy.
Why?
That's nice.
Why?
That's nice.
You know, in case this whole YouTube thing flops and I need a job. So I wasn't really strict on the rules. You know those fast food workers who are strict? No, we won't serve breakfast at 10:02. Get out. But being pretty laid back still didn't stop people from being annoying. So this one person comes in and asks for 2 footlong pastrami sandwiches.
You know, I'm sorry. This is probably my autism. This looks like a lock. Look, looks like a lock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just thought it looked like the actual Subway counter with the glass.
It looks exactly like the cat. Yeah. How tall is this person? Look at the size comparison.
Well, how tall is James?
He's tall enough. I've met him. I'm 5'9" on a good day, so he's probably 5'10" on a good day, I would say. We're pretty much the same size. Well, I don't know if he is pretty fit nowadays, actually. I don't know. James, let's lift together someday, okay? Let's do that.
So this one person comes in and asks for 2 footlong pastrami sandwiches.
What?
And pastrami is our most expensive sandwich. It's about $10 for a footlong. And guys, the pastrami is super good, but I wouldn't pay for it. I mean, it's good, yeah, but I'm not paying $10 for a
Looks pretty
footlong.
good.
It's not worth it. So this guy, I make his 2 sandwiches, I ring him up and I say, that'll be $20. And I guess he didn't look at the price of the sandwich on the menu, or he thought we still did the $5 footlongs, because he said to me, I ain't paying for that. And this is when I was just starting out. I only had like a week of experience.
I didn't know you could do that.
And after he said that, I responded, well, shoot. I guess you're not paying for it. I didn't know people could do that. Hey, I want this. All right, that's $20.
Cameron, I'm sorry. I know you said that it was super annoying when I called out things that they were gonna. I didn't remember that he was gonna say that. I'm sorry. He said that in the haminations video that we watched together, I called out a bunch of things that were about to be said.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's so annoying. And I'm sorry, Cameron. Be patient with me. I have autism.
Well, shoot. I guess you're not paying for it. I didn't know people could do that. Hey, I want this. All right, that's $20. Yeah. You don't want it? No, I want it. I'm just not paying for it. Okay, no, but actually, we did come up with a compromise. He told me that he had $12, so he ended up paying for one of the sandwiches, and I got to eat the other one. So it all worked out. This one time I was making a sandwich for a guy with a very heavy accent, and he asks for onions on the side. No big deal. We at sooubway put vegetables in little cups all the time.
Oh, I didn't even know you could ask for that.
On the side cups are teeny tiny, and I start doing my thing, but then he says, no, on the side. And I think, oh, he's getting a foot long. He probably wants onions on half of it, but not the other. So I start putting onions on half the sub, but then again he says, no, on the side. At this point, I don't know what this guy wants. So I ask him, on the side of what? And then he screams,
on the side
onions!
On the side of his face.
What he was trying to say.
What do you think he was
What
trying
did
to
he
say?
say?
What do you think he meant?
Onions on the side.
Probably on the side of his face. You want some onions on the side? I'll give you some onions on the side. You know what I'm saying? Oh, how's it hearing me?
Yeah, that's loud when you tap on it. That's me
all
going
right.
like...
I'm sorry.
This one old gentleman asks for sauce to be put on his vegetables, and normally we put it on top of the sandwich with the meat. And I didn't know if I heard him correctly because I put the sauce on and then I closed the sandwich. So your sauce would have been in the same place either way. One time this woman tipped me and Corey $40.
Wow.
She wasn't annoying. I just want to sprinkle in some good customer stories. Okay, one time this Native American person came in, and I don't know if mentioning that was important to the story. He comes in and asks for 5-foot-long tunas. Okay, Tyler, just me and you, let's do this. And then when we're all finished, we ring him up and we say, anything else? And he says, 7 meatballs. What? You had 7 more sandwiches. But James, you're sooubway. You're supposed to make people sandwiches regardless of how many they ask for. Yeah, I know, but the guy could have handled it differently. Normally for a platter, you have to call in at least an hour ahead, and that's only 5-foot-longs. This guy could have called ahead and said, hey, I'm getting 12 sandwiches, so just prepare yourselves mentally. I mean, we had so many customers waiting in line. No, we didn't.
That's the
a lie.
worst.
It was only him. But still, this one woman, I was making her sandwich, and for vegetables, she asked for extra lettuce. So I put on a big handful, but then she asks for more. So I put more on.
Lady,
more.
you're crazy.
Sprinkle some on. More!
You know what's my theory here? My theory is she thinks she's being healthy. You're not being healthier by having all that lettuce. It's not real lettuce, okay? Just enjoy your sooubway and then have some real lettuce at home.
All right, extra lettuce it is. So I ended up giving her an open sandwich with a mountain of lettuce.
Oh my gosh.
You know we do salads, right? When I was little, I always thought if I was working at a store and someone tried to rob me, I wouldn't give them any money. But now it's like, psh, I ain't risking my life for sooubway. Here, take the cash register. So thankfully I've never had anyone pull a gun on me, but I have caught people stealing from us. I was making someone's sandwich and this one kid asks for just a water cup, so I gave it to him. So I go back to making a sandwich and I just hear the fuzzy soda sounds being dispensed. And I look over and the kid is putting soda in the cup. He didn't even try to hide it. When
Give
I
him
put
an inch,
soda
they
in a
take
water
a
cup, I
mile.
at least wait for the employees to go in the back, but I didn't even say anything. I was just like, all right, man. This guy, I totally saw him take a bag of chips, and he hid it under the counter so I couldn't see. So when I rang up his sandwich, I asked, anything else? And he said, nope. All right, whatever.
You are scum.
Yeah, no, at that point, like if I was 16 and working at Subway, maybe I'd be like, hey, this is important. I have my duty as a sooubway guy. But like now it's like, as a grown man, I'm like, yeah, you're stealing from a billion-dollar corporation. You're not stealing from anyone who's struggling.
A corporation who stopped selling my favorite bread.
Yeah, what's the bread?
It was the jalapeno cheese bread.
Are you sure you don't mean Italian urban cheese?
Maybe it was that one.
Because that's my favorite.
I think it was that one that they stopped, right? I missed that one.
loved that. Wait. But sometimes these things are regional.
It was either that or it's the jalapeno cheese bread.
Yeah, it might be a different thing. Jalapeno cheese
We should
bread.
get Subway for dinner.
I don't eat.
Know,
they
I'm
don't
just
do
kidding,
gluten
I'm just
free.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I would love to get we can't. If you want it, we'll get it. But I don't eat gluten anymore after almost in 2023.
But see, they said they have a history of continuing it and discontinuing it. And I remember when they discontinued it and I was so sad.
Okay, last story. I was in the back and I was playing some Clash of Clans, and we have a computer that shows what the cameras see, and I see this woman who was eating there. She reached over the counter and took 3 large cups.
What?
I did nothing to stop it. You know, I'm the kind of person that's like, the fast food employee is always right. Say if I was eating somewhere and I asked for a chicken salad and they said, we only have tuna salad. I'm the kind of person that's like, oh, well, I guess I'm having the tuna salad then.
Oh, that was it. No outro.
No. What happened?
What?
He edited this video. There's more to this video. Was something inappropriate? Was there something inappropriate that he cut out?
Oh, well, I guess I'm having the tuna salad then. I think people need to realize that these fast food workers are actually people and not something for you to use to get a free sandwich.
Wow, that was an emotional journey. Okay, that was the end of the video, actually.
Was it really?
He just cut out his outro.
Oh.
He cut out his Okay. What was it? Was there something in his outro that aged poorly? Maybe something in the outro aged poorly. I don't know. Okay, guys, we're in the zone right now. I feel like we gotta just do sooubway 3. And if you want us to do tabletop games,
10,000 likes on this video.
You want to know something sad?
Yes.
I've earned more money from the 2 sooubway videos I made about working at sooubway than I did actually working at sooubway for over a year.
Yup.
So here we go, sooubway part 3, baby. I still got more to say. I used to work there, in case you didn't know that. When I moved out and was all on my own for college, I was feeling a little lonely and homesick. So one day I decided, hey, I'm gonna get some sooubway for lunch.
Nice.
Food that I used to almost eat every day and got for free for over a year, I was gonna pay full price for. I just wanted a taste of home. I wasn't expecting to ever tell this story, but it turns out the employee making my sandwich was a huge idiot.
What?
As I was waiting in line.
Okay, so before he says this story, I will say, have you ever, when you were younger, did you ever work at a place and then when you go to that same place or a different version of that same place, you judge the employees like super hard because you're like, I know how this is supposed to work and this is how they're treating me?
I feel like that is true when it comes to like me eating at a buffet, because I was a server at like a buffet, and honestly I would never eat at any buffet unless it's the buffets in Las Vegas, because most buffets, the way they prepare the food is so bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I worked at Best Buy when I was 16, and after leaving that job, anytime I would go to a Best Buy for the next few years, I would like walk in there just knowing that I judge all the employees. I'm like, huh, you haven't said hi to me yet. These games are not pushed back properly. They're not in the right spot.
Would you say that to them?
No, I wouldn't say it.
Okay.
In my head, I would be this elitist because I know how good of an employee I was. Because any job I go to, I'm like, I am going to be the best employee ever. Sorry, homies, I'm gonna be the GOAT. And but no, the Best Buy I worked at was one of the top Best Buys in the country.
Yeah.
I talked about this in my Best Buy Stories animation that has never seen the light of day.
Employee making my sandwich was a huge idiot. As I was waiting in line, I noticed my favorite sandwich, the turkey Italiano, wasn't on the menu. The turkey Italiano, by the way, is the same as the Italian BMT, but instead of ham, you put on turkey. Very simple change. I asked the worker, did you guys have the turkey Italiano? And he said, no. So then I asked, can I get a BMT, but instead of ham, I have turkey? And you know what he said to me? He said, no.
What?
I don't
That
think
would
I'm
glitch out the
asking for too
Matrix.
much. At my sooubway, the BMT and the turkey Italiano were the same price, okay? And what do you mean, no, you can't put on turkey?
It would glitch the Matrix.
Who's stopping you? I know for a fact that you don't count the slices of turkey at the end of the night. Just let me up, please. I'm feeling sad. So I just got the BMT with all the vegetables because it's more food for the same amount of money and I was a poor college student. And also because screw that guy. Have fun trying to close that sandwich. And then when he was all done, he put my sandwich by the cash register and then he just started helping the next customer.
What?
And they hadn't even started making their
Dip,
sandwich.
get out
just
of there.
Ring me up so I can leave and then help the next person. But no, I had to wait for him to finish this person's sandwich. If I wasn't so nice, I would have just took the sandwich and walked off.
You know what, James? I think he liked you.
What?
He wanted to see you for longer. He didn't want you to leave yet. Seeing you and seeing your smile helped him get through that day.
He's not smiling.
He wanted you to... I know James. I feel like he probably was smiling through the pain. You know, he was probably annoyed, but he was like, huh, yeah, no worries. You know?
I mean, I don't know.
He was probably still smiling. You wouldn't make this face at an employee, would you?
Yeah, if they really ticked me off, I would not be smiling.
The sandwich and walked off, but I didn't. Because I'm so nice. I realize telling you that story, it sounds like I'm one of those customers who complain about everything and say, let me talk to your manager.
John
but really,
Subway.
the whole time I just stood there awkwardly. But I think I can complain a little bit. I used to work at a sooubway. I know how things are supposed to work. Sooubway, if you're somehow watching this, you need to hire more people. Like me. Speaking of me, when I was working at sooubway, I never liked wearing my name tag because when I was making people's sandwiches, I hated it when complete strangers would say, thanks, James. How did you know? Oh, right, the name tag. So I never wore my name tag. I just work at sooubway, okay? We don't need to know each other on a first name basis. Just take your food. For some reason, I don't like it when strangers know my name. But now that's all thrown out the window. This one time a customer came in and for some reason I couldn't help but feel like I'd seen her somewhere before. Her face was so familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So I made her sandwich, I rang her up, she paid for it, and as she grabbed her stuff, she said, yeah, I'm going up to my father's funeral this weekend.
Oh, cool.
After my mother died, he couldn't last that long.
Cool.
Oh, that's why I remember her. She came in last week telling me the same story.
Good.
What are you supposed to say to that? Yeah, that really sucks. I'm just some underpaid sandwich artist with really bad people skills. Did she really not have anyone else to talk to? That just makes it extra sad.
Yeah, no, she probably talked to everyone about it. I mean, people grieve in their own ways, you know? Sad. She should watch an anime or something to, like, get her mind in a new direction, you know? Like, watch a long anime with, like, a bunch of episodes, you know? Watch Naruto.
Naruto, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it is Dragon Boru's. No way. Yes, I'm not offensive. Dragon Borusi. Oh, but it's Zeto. So it's like they view Z as the real pronunciation.
Yeah.
Z, you Americans are right. We who say Z, we are wrong. Dragon Ball Z. And by the way, guys, I do know a decent bit of Japanese, so me saying that is not me being cringe. It's me actually pronouncing it the way it should be pronounced.
Did she really not have anyone else to talk to? That just makes it extra sad. I ended up giving her a free cookie. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't.
Aww.
Luckily, my coworker Corey heard this and he talked to her and he was very nice.
Aww.
Corey's a lot better at being nice to people. One time I was closing the store, I turned off the open sign and I was opening the front door to bring in a table and chair from outside. But while I was bringing in the table, these two old guys got out of their car and asked, "Are you guys closed?"
No! Yes!
Yep. Is what I would have said if I wasn't so nice. Instead, I said, ugh,
No.
fine. Even though it was past 10, I let them order their sandwiches. When they came in, the 16-year-old girl I was working with was not happy. He started apologizing for coming in so late. Oh, I didn't realize places in Arizona close so
I just got
early.
back from bingo.
We're vampires. And I said, it's whatever, just order your sandwiches. And then he said, can I have 3 salads? And I actually laughed.
Good one.
But he didn't laugh. Oh, you're being serious. I let you in past closing and you want 3 salads? Do you know how many dirty dishes that'll make? As I was making this guy his 3 salads and 16-year-old girl was making the other guy's 2 foot-long sandwiches, a third guy not associated with these two came in. Guess he didn't see the open sign not illuminated. I finished helping the 2 old guys and then I started helping the third guy and he asked, what time do you guys close? 15 minutes ago. But after everything was said and done, the 2 old guys tipped us $5 and the third guy tipped us $1.
No.
So I mean, between me and the
Nice.
16-year-old girl,
Ballin'.
a $3 tip ain't so bad. I actually heard from one of my old coworkers that the husband and wife owners of my old sooubway watched my 2 other sooubway videos.
Oh.
So they might be watching this one, and I just wanted to say that by letting those 3 guys in, I showed initiative and was looking out for customer satisfaction. Yeah.
Good
One
job.
time I brought a laser pointer into work because I knew I'd be bored, and I was. Except the boy I was working with was shining it outside at the cars driving by, and I told him not to do that because it's probably stupid, illegal, and really dangerous. Later, I was gonna go clean the bathrooms. I saw the laser pointer on the counter, and I said, hey dude, while I'm cleaning the bathrooms, don't shine the laser pointer at the cars. I told him that.
All right, he gave him 1 job.
He did it.
I was gonna build that up a little bit more, but yes.
When I was all finished cleaning though, I saw him sitting by the window just shining the laser at the cars. At first I wanted to go up to him and say, dude, stop. But then the other part of me thought, I'm not this kid's
Spray him.
dad. I told him to stop twice and he didn't listen. Whatever happens is his problem.
Yeah.
He ended up getting fired. Yeah, a lady came in and said, let me talk to your manager. And I said, I can give you her phone number. And boom, he got fired.
Jane
I know
Subway.
I'm the one who brought in the laser pointer, but I don't really blame myself for him losing his job. That was a stupid thing for you to do, kid. Once again, I was the good employee.
Yay.
I mean, I didn't show that much initiative that time though. So before I worked at sooubway, I like to go to this taco place and get the same thing every time, the carne asada fries.
I
Later, I
love
learned that the
carne
carne
asada
asada fries are
fries.
2,000 calories. That was the only thing I ever got at this taco place. And I used to be super self-conscious thinking, man, these employees must think I'm so weird coming in getting the same thing over and over. But then when I worked at sooubway, I learned, nope, fast food employees don't care about you or your order. Unless you're mean to them or tell them that you're going to your dad's funeral, fast food employees will not remember you. One time someone came in and told me, I'll have the usual. And I said, I've literally never seen you before in my entire life.
Yeah,
I did
who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
I did not like when customers said that to me.
They said that to you?
Yes, they'd be like, we come
How
to
did
eat
they
here
look?
every week. And I'm like, I've seen like 2,000 customers in a day. I will not remember you unless you tipped
dingus.
super well.
Yes.
Yeah, you tipped super well.
Give
then
me,
yeah.
give me a reason to remember you, sir. When I was in high school, there was one, he wasn't even really much my friend, and that's important because I wouldn't befriend someone who acts like this. I did have a friend who, when we would go to McDonald's at lunch, he would say, yeah, I'll have the usual, and they knew what to give him. And you know what it
they
was?
knew what to give him?
It was a very offensive Canadian custom McDonald's order. If you know, you know. If you don't know, yeah, It's not good. It's not appropriate. It was delicious, but the idea of it was very, very bad.
One time someone came in and told me, I'll have the usual. And I said, I've literally never seen you before in my entire life. I didn't really say that. If any of you are working at a really slow sooubway, here are some fun games for you to play. Cut up a loaf of bread
Russian
into small
roulette.
pieces and make a mini sandwich with 1 meat and 3 different vegetables. Give it to your coworker and have them eat it without looking. Then they have to guess what's on the sandwich. And that's it.
Wow.
You can set up a point system, like they get 1 point for every ingredient they get right. Also, you can do the same game by mixing up 2 sodas and have them guess. You can walk into the freezer and see how long you can last. My record's an hour. You can bring in some vanilla ice cream and just make all sorts of stuff with that. You can make root beer floats. You could take 2 cookies and put ice cream between them and make a cookie ice cream sandwich. 16-year-old girl made this thing, I think it was called the kazuki. You put cookie dough in a bowl and then you cooked it, but not all the way. And then you put ice cream on top of it and it was super good. You make nachos and bread bowls and we wasted a lot of food. I still don't know why that guy didn't give me a turkey Italiano. I mean, at my sooubway, we made bread bowls and nachos.
Yeah, homies is out here cutting out the outros. Cutting out the outros.
Mayday, Mayday, yeah, you really drive me crazy, crazy.
You know, I never really understood trigger words until I got roommates. I hated my roommates. Except for you, Isaac. He watches my videos. Oh, James, you didn't hate your roommates. You just mildly disliked them. Yes, I did. When I first moved out of my house and went to college, the day I moved into my apartment and I opened the front door, this is what I saw. Keep in mind all the buildup that has gone into this moment. First, I had to get accepted into the school, then pick my major and classes. Then I had to find an apartment close to the school and get everything set up there. Then I had to pack everything up into a suitcase, kiss my dogs goodbye,
We've all been
and then
there.
be all on my own for the very first time. I opened the door to where I'd be living for the next 8 months, and this is what I see. Someone sleeping on a couch. He was wearing some bright fast food employee uniform. The TV is on. There's a Halo 5 poster hanging on the wall. The sink, counter, and table is full of dirty dishes. There's a big industrial-sized trash can that is overflowing. Inside the fridge, there is an empty box of Dr. Pepper, a bottle of ketchup, and a jumbo Costco-sized pack of hot dogs.
Nice.
Where did all these dishes come from? Fun fact, those hot dogs were still in the fridge when I left. But the worst thing that was there
Should've taken
was
a
there was
picture.
about 1 million basketball cards just lying on the floor. I'm not even exaggerating.
He has a picture.
Oh, basketball cards. You gotta really listen, I love the UFC, but I bought a pack of UFC cards and I don't care, dude. I do not care. I feel like this is from an era when you couldn't just watch things on demand whenever you want.
Well, I thought they're collector items.
They're collector items.
And then you just resell them.
Right, I think, listen, if you're really into cards, that's super cool, but I feel like with cards, it's like, yeah, you have a collection and it's interesting, but the idea is that like, oh, this is a valuable collection. Not that like, oh, you pick up a card and it's like, oh, this brings me new joy that I didn't experience before the first 100 times I looked at this card, you know? So cards for me, it's just excess, you know what I'm saying? It's excess. But shout out to all the people who like cards, you know, you're still cool. I picked the Ace of Spades every time.
Unless you're one of those Pokemon card scalpers.
No, there's definitely people who like Pokemon cards watching this.
No, I'm talking about the ones who like one person buying all 50 packs at the store.
Yeah, don't buy all 50
for
packs,
triple
Randall.
price. That's not nice.
Stop buying all 50 packs, Randall. I'm on to you. I will come to your house.
I'm not even exaggerating. Here's proof. Okay, so I got a single room because I brought all my drawing stuff, and I would feel bad if I shared a room with someone and he had to deal with all my drawing stuff being there, and also I wanted to be alone. Looking back, I'm so glad I got a single room because that room couldn't even fit myself. Literally, I could stand in the middle of the room, hold my hands out, and without moving my feet, I could touch the walls of the room. Maybe I just have long arms, I don't know. I mean, I could settle for a small bedroom, but what made living there so horrible were the roommates. What I didn't realize is that these boys also got private rooms, so that means that they too were socially awkward and kept to themselves, which you might think is a good thing, but you'd be wrong. On the first night of being by myself, I unpack all my drawing stuff and I set it all up. And then I turn on the computer and the screen is just black. Nothing was turning on. I tried everything to fix it and it just wasn't turning on. Eventually, I contacted the people who made it, sent it in, and then I got it back working. But during that week while the tablet was being fixed, like seriously, no joke, that was probably the worst week of my entire life. I'm being serious. Making comics and YouTube videos was what kept me sane. And that first night of being on my own and my tablet broke, I cried, guys. I couldn't even eat food. I was that sad. I hit rock.
See,
That's so sad.
See, James and I are from the era where people actually did YouTube because it was fun.
Yeah.
And then it became a job. Nowadays, people can't wrap their heads around, wait a minute, someone actually loves to make YouTube videos, you know? When James and I started, you couldn't really make money on YouTube. We did this stuff anyways, you know? We just wanted to do this, and then it became a thing. So yeah, I won't make it sound like a lecture. He's passionate, and when you ain't got that, what do you got, you know?
Food, I was that sad. I hit rock bottom. I remember just watching Captain Sparkles and Game Grumps highlights all day. But then the day I got it back, I was a drawing machine. I posted a comic the very same day. So let's spend the rest of this video talking about these previously mentioned roommates I had.
Nice.
The first person I need to talk about is Isaac. He was the only one that I like, and he's also the only one I told that I made YouTube videos. Now this boy wore obey hats, he vaped, and he said stuff like, that's dope. But you wanna know why I liked him the most? Because he did the dishes. Like me and him did the dishes. It wasn't just him, okay? I'd probably never become friends with him in any other circumstance. Just wanted to say that he was the cool one. I like him. Hi, Isaac. I miss you. I was looking at this post on the internet, and it was where the old memes are today.
Wow.
And for the after picture for the scumbag Steve meme, it looked exactly like my roommate who I'll just make up a fake name
That's a deep
for,
cut.
Steve for convenience. I'm pretty sure I was roommates with a meme. Just put a fedora on this meme, and boom, that's my roommate, Steve. And it was a very fitting meme too. This guy wouldn't do the dishes. He always cooked this ramen thing in the microwave and would leave this gross juice stuff behind.
No.
So then when I would go to use the microwave, it would get my paper plates soggy. So I would have to check every time before I used it to make sure there was no juice stuff behind. And also at night, he watched anime without headphones,
Inuyasha.
subbed. Anime has a certain sound to it. I don't know if you knew that. It's like normal Japanese, but really emphatically. Luckily, it was usually late at night when he started watching, so I would just have to get to sleep before he started and I would be all good. James, why didn't you just ask him to turn it down? I did! One night I went into his room and I said, hey man, can you turn it down? And you know what?
You guys want to hear Corey in the house now? You want to hear what Corey in the house is like now? Anyone who grew up with Corey in the house, just letting you know, this is...
It's me and Skate on the beat. We walk up in the club, throw 1,000 a piece. You ain't know, I got a crib on the beach. Around, leave head on the street.
Shout out Corey in the house, that's all I'm saying.
Hey man, can you turn it down? And you know what? He did turn it down for that night.
Nice.
That night.
That night!
That one night. The very next night,
2:30 a.m.
but you know, he wasn't too bad. He would spend most of his time in his room playing video games, and I would spend most of my time in my room drawing. So except for the microwave juice thing, we didn't get in each other's way too often. Here's actually a funny story. So when I was filming the part in the vegan video when I crumpled up Oreos over Reese's Puffs, Steve walked into the kitchen and he saw me filming this sugary vegan concoction, and I just said to him, don't ask. Okay, so here's the roommate that I hated the most. His fake name will be Hunter. He was the one asleep on the couch when I first walked in, and he was the one who had collected all those billions of basketball cards.
Wow.
Just basketball cards, and he kept them all in the front room. What's the point of having
Yeah.
sports cards when you can't?
That was, in the picture, they're like just right in front of the TV, like in a horrendous place.
No, I would hate that.
What's the point of having sports cards when you can't even play with them? I mean, I spend money on Magic the Gathering cards, but that's because it's an actual game that you can play with friends. What do you do with sports cards? I mean, I guess you can leave them in the front room of your apartment. Maybe one day your roommate might make a video about it though. He left his Mountain Dew bottles on the floor, he farted in public. He would always complain that Steve didn't do the dishes, but he wouldn't do the dishes either. One time I was tired of doing everyone's dirty dishes, so I bought a big stack of paper plates for everyone to use, but Hunter took the paper plates to a party without even asking me, and he didn't even bring them back. But the worst thing this guy did, one day he told me, my ex-girlfriend doesn't want our dog anymore, so he's coming to live here.
No.
So this boy wants to bring a dog in an already very small, cramped apartment. I couldn't believe this. The dog's name was Snoopy and I loved him. Hunter would put him in his kennel at night, but one night I was like, hey Hunter, Snoopy can stay with me if you want. And then boom, from that day forth, I was the one taking care of Snoopy.
Aww.
Snoopy would now sleep in my room. I would be the one who took him out for walks, and I fed him slices of lunch meat. What was great was that when I would go into the kitchen and Hunter would be watching TV,
I would call him Mr. Snooperson, you know?
But now I'm gonna be sad if he doesn't get to keep the dog, or the guy gets rid of the dog. Or
Mr. Snoopington.
he would call for Snoopy. Snoopy, Snoops, Snoops! But he wouldn't come. This dog would follow me everywhere.
yeah.
And then one day Hunter said, hey, do you just want to have Snoopy? I was going to get rid of him. And then I said I would take him. And then later that same week, Hunter moved out. He took all the toilet paper too.
What?
He basically gave me a dog.
Yeah, he took the more important. He took the more important things, the toilet paper.
Wait, stop. He drew Snoopy so on point.
You can have the dog. I'll take the toilet paper. This sounds like an equal trade to me.
And of course, I loved that dog. But we lived in such a small space, and I was always busy with school and
Cute. What an
drawing. I
interesting
knew these weren't the
color
best
pattern.
conditions for a dog to live in, and I'm pretty sure my apartment didn't even allow pets. So I asked people I knew if they wanted Snoopy, and my grandma got one of her friends to take care of him. So I dropped Snoopy off, and I've never seen him since. And that's it, the end.
Snoopy, why did you have to go? Why, Snoopy?
Well, at least he had a good home.
At least he had a good home. And you know how you can assure that you have a good home? By watching some more videos. Here's the full playlist of videos that me and Lola did together. Feel at home as you watch these videos. Here's another video of mine that YouTube thinks you will like in particular. Yes, you in particular. Here's James's channel. Support the original creator. I'll see you in these videos, or I'll see you in this video. Peace out, people.
Jeez, Rick, oh my god. That's some pretty hardcore stuff. What in the